welcome to Reckless Recap. I am Lauren Bennett. I am filling in as host today because unfortunately Melissa could not be here. I apologize in advance for all of the mistakes that I am going to make, but it's okay because she will be back next time, so you only have to suffer through with me for a week. So, now, let's turn it over to Olamira to catch us up on the events of the latest episode.
Welcome back to Story Time with Olamira. Today's story picks up with the unstable unicorns dealing with the fallout of the Shadow Syndicate attack on Waterdeep Castle. Lord Silverhand sends for the Cobalt Soul to help get to the bottom of what happened. When the Cobalt Soul representatives arrive, Crystal comes too, shocking the unicorns with his fancy new haircut and his cool new friends.
Actually, I think they're his old friends.
Don't make me magic your mouth shut again, girly. As the Cobalt Soul, the unicorns, and Lord Silverhand discuss what has happened, young Reed receives a shock when a figure from his past makes an appearance, a red wizard. Reed wants to take the guy out with his fancy firearm, but restrains himself for now.
I think Reed really might kill that guy.
Now don't go getting ahead of my story.
Sorry, Olamira.
Tiriana, being the smartest of the group.
Hey, wait a second.
Am I wrong?
Well, not really. Okay.
As I was saying, Tiriana tells Crystal's Cobalt friends about her involvement with the Zentherum and offers them the blue vial the unicorns got a hold of back in Vandalin. Then, the unicorns take a nice rest, except Reed, who beat up a wardrobe. Oh, and the bear, who kept watch over Lord Silverhand's room. The next morning, Reed delivered a scary threat to the Red Wizard, and Lord Silverhand interrogated some delegates. Delegate Ambrose was found to be working with Manchun to help make a secret delivery.
Wait, how come you can say his name?
I'm telling the story. I'm allowed to say whatever I want.
Fine.
Lord Silverhand decided to throw Ambrose in the dungeon. Then Kier, the one who can't shut up, had an interesting conversation with a delegate from Whitestone, and we found out that she has been hiding the fact
And that's the end of that story.
I wasn't finished yet.
No need to go into any details. That's all the time we have. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.
Welcome back to Reckless Recap. Again, I am Lauren Bennett, and I am the host for today. And joining me are father-son duo, Gavin and Tate Putnam.
Hey there.
Thanks for joining us, guys.
Of course.
So, last episode,
Oh man.
it was a lot.
Yeah. A
Yeah.
lot.
Not to understate things or
Yeah.
anything. But let's start with the beginning. So, Tate, what
Yes.
was it like being back at the table after your extended absence?
Oh, okay. Well, okay. That's a loaded question because so when the one shot started, I thought one shot summed it up. Nobody said anything about a freaking 3-shot. But yeah, so over a month later, I finally get to show up, and it was a blast, man. It was like I was back with my family, and I was back with my family. It was like I got really tired of playing with myself.
As
re-
we do.
I
Yeah.
really wish that you would not look into the camera while you say that.
That makes it more intense. I'm sorry.
Ew.
I'm not sorry. But yeah, no, it was great. It was, Crystal went through a whole lot of things while he was gone, and he came back with a whole different attitude. And I don't know. Last night was great, and I'm really excited to see how this new take on Crystal interacts with the rest of the guys.
Oh yeah, I'm also very excited to see how this goes. We didn't get a whole lot of look at the new Crystal. We got some glimpses, a little teaser of sorts, but I'm very excited to see him really in action.
Yeah, it's going to be. I think the biggest thing that's going to catch everybody off guard is he's not all about peace and prosperity now. It's just about the truth, getting to the truth no matter what.
I think it's going to be really interesting seeing like how Crystal interacts with some of the same situations he's been in before with this new outlook on stuff.
Definitely.
I think that's going to be really interesting.
It's going to be different, and I think it's going to take the unicorns a bit to adjust.
Well, and I think like the opposite side of the coin is I think. Well, Crystal went and did this thing that he needed to do. He needed to hit a reset button. Ashton really screwed him up. He blamed all that on himself. I blame it all on Gavin. But I think what Crystal didn't realize is how much it was going to change his perspective on the group. You know, like coming back, we don't know how Crystal's going to feel about everybody else either.
Yeah, it definitely is going to change some things.
Yeah, I think
sure.
it's going to alter dynamics.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it unfolds for sure. So also last night, Reed shared a pretty big piece of backstory when we came into contact with a red wizard.
Just a little bit. No, but the red wizard is a big part of his backstory and his kind of like quest for vengeance as of right now. As I said in the episode, like the red wizards are the people who murdered his village, and in that his family. He has been on this hunt to find these people for God knows how many years, but no, like the first time interacting with one of these people is a shell shock for him, and ultimately, like right now, he's just seeing red.
So obviously it was a shock for Reed, but how was it for Gavin having that happen?
It was crazy. I was expecting like normal delegates, and then there was a red wizard that showed up to this gigantic gala, and like from my experience with red wizards, like they don't typically do this kind of stuff. Like they're very much in the shadows a little bit more than most syndicates, but they're not nice people, like by any means.
Yeah, I'm convinced that this last episode was just Steven getting us back for all of the loops that we've thrown him.
For sure.
Yeah, it's all right. I still got a few more up my sleeve. Revenge will be had.
I'm sure that Ashley will come up with something soon, too.
Oh, God.
She always does.
I mean, she's got a poison ring now, so there ain't no telling.
You just need to find another breakfast buffet.
Oh, yeah, for
That's
sure.
all it'll take.
So how do you think Reed is handling coming face to face with not just one of the Red Wizards, but like the leader of the Red Wizards? Like, is he dealing with that well? Is he?
No. That's no is a very big understatement. No, he is losing his mind because he has the chance to end someone who was a big part of why he's here now. And like he realizes that like if these people weren't around, like he could have had a different life. And like having that thought while coming face to face with one of the leaders, and it's broken him a little bit, knowing that he has the chance, but he can't right now. He's not handling it well, and the conversation between him and the Red Wizard really threw him for a loop.
Oh, it was intense for sure.
The line about which village just
No.
Oh. You could
completely
feel
changed the course
Oh, it was
of the
tangible.
conversation.
the tension at the table
Yeah.
just was palpable
Yeah.
at that
it
point.
was so intense.
Well, it's interesting for me whenever I have to like act that certain way because like obviously I'm not mad at Steve,
I
Right.
am.
but like just the adrenaline I get from that scenario
Yeah.
is like insane.
Yeah.
Like I feel mad,
Yep.
but
Oh, we could tell.
like I'm not.
You
Yeah.
look like you're about to run through somebody last night.
And which is why we have cards for our audience out
That's
there.
right.
If
Yes.
you don't know, we do have a way to let each other know that we're not really mad at each other.
Right.
That's right.
Because it gets very intense.
Especially with a story like mine where like the person in front of me or Steve is the person who killed my family.
You went through a whole range of like different emotions that you had to interact with Stephen last night because you had that but then you had the delegate from Marquette.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Right.
like it was a very big dynamic there.
And it like a lot of it muddled together because like not after the Red Wizard encounter the first time, like no matter what anybody would have said, Reed is completely seeing red right now and not as
Literally and figuratively.
yeah,
Hey.
yeah, quite literally and figuratively,
Yep.
yeah. But no, he's unbelievably mad, and it's either going to work out in his favor, or it is going to come back and bite him in the worst possible way. And I'm actually kind of excited to see where that goes.
I'm very excited
Yeah.
to see where that goes. There's so much happening right now.
Yeah, it seems
man.
like all of our
Crazy.
backstories are kind of they've hit a crossroad. And
Yeah.
They're like on a collision course with each other right now.
Yeah,
Definitely.
It's really interesting how everything's unfolding.
Oh yes. And speaking of that, so it seemed like this last session was a lot of secrets coming out into the open. So we had a little bit of Reed's backstory,
Yep.
which we talked about. And then Tiriana
Yep.
shared that she is part of the Zenthram. And that's something she's
Yeah.
been very hush-hush about
Yeah.
up to this point.
Yeah, she talked to the Cobalt about it. Mm-hmm. You know, it's not like she talked to some guy
Yeah.
on the street. Like she talked to the head honcho bigwigs.
Yep.
You know,
Right.
There's no going back from that.
no,
No.
not at all. Which, to be fair, in my one shot, in an attempt to protect Tiriana, Chris Stoll revealed to them already that she was a member of the Zenthram and why she joined the Zenthram. Because we've been chasing Froze away from the beginning, you know, and
Yeah.
that was her attempt to keep it off the streets.
Yeah. It's been very interesting to see how she has taken that journey.
Oh yeah,
Ooh, yeah.
Like,
For me, Tiriana's backstory isn't the most complicated until you get into what's happening in the game. Like her backstory is like I feel like a generic fantasy backstory, but then once you get into what she's gotten into now, like
Oh,
she's
yeah.
a very complex character under
yes.
all that.
oh yeah.
Very much so. And I feel like we're still just scratching the surface
Oh, for
of
sure.
her character.
Oh yeah. If you think you know who Tiriana is, you're fooling yourself.
Yeah, no, I am very excited to see, because really and truly, she's one of the few that doesn't have like a pressing. She does because the
Oh, yeah.
Zenthram
Yeah,
stuff,
now.
but it's not her. Like Gavin said, it's not her backstory that's
Right.
pressing, because all of the rest of us have like very pressing backstory issues,
Right.
because like, you know, Crystal has Hovarth and all of that
Yep.
that's going on. Reed has obviously the Red Wizards. Kier, we'll come back to that,
Yeah.
but yes,
Oh my god.
so much. And then Mavieth still has his dad out there somewhere,
Right.
and
And potentially more.
oh boy, go watch the one shots. Become a Patreon subscriber just for that. It's worth it. I promise.
It really is.
You're welcome, guys.
Yeah. Oh man, now I'm excited. But yeah, and then Billerdam his is not necessarily as pressing,
Right.
But he is
But-
still looking for
Isn't it pressing? Because in Billerdam's world, that's the absolute only thing that matters. The only reason he's with us
Is to
for
look.
that's if it's not for the B, he doesn't care.
It's
Right.
true.
That's the only reason he's with us.
Yeah.
I do feel like he's like developing a sense of family with us though.
I
That
Oh
agree.
yeah,
is slowly becoming more and more like in his main peripheral
Yes.
than the B.
Yeah.
However, I do think that the B is still the most thing.
Oh,
on his
I
mind.
think if he had a real lead on the blue speckled bee,
Oh, he would
he'd
split.
probably leave us in a
Oh, yeah.
heartbeat.
Well, I mean,
Oh,
he
yeah.
did for his one shot.
Yeah.
He went to go look for it.
Yeah, but I do feel like he's becoming more attached to the group as
Yeah.
we go as well. And he finally doesn't think that we're all bad guys anymore, which is
That's
great.
right.
That's true.
Oh, so now we come to the shocking end of the session.
Oh my god.
And Kier's big reveal that, oh man, so if you have not watched the episode, now is the moment to leave and go watch it because, big spoiler,
Super big.
Kier is a duchess, apparently.
A Duchess.
For Whitestone.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that, guys.
Like royalty.
Unaware to me. But yeah, so that's gonna, all of these things are going to change the dynamic of the group so much.
Completely. I
Man.
mean, we've been going for what, almost a year and a half now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like between you and Crystal, like everything's about to change.
Oh yeah. It's going to completely change. Well, this difference with Crystal and
Mm-hmm.
how he's come back a new person,
Oh, yeah.
really.
Yeah,
And now Kier is different than what everyone thought she was, even
Yeah.
herself.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't realize that
Yeah.
this was a thing. And just all of the dynamics are going to change.
Mm-hmm.
It's
man.
going to be crazy.
it's gonna be wild. Yeah,
And the only person I feel like is not going to be like entirely affected by this is Reed because he's so new. Like,
Yeah. But I think even for Reed, it's probably going to be because he is just now getting to be a part of this group, and this group's about to completely
yeah. So
Right.
I think it would almost affect Reed to an extent more than everybody else because he came into the group just a few weeks ago under the assumption this is the thing, and now literally everything Reed knew about these people he's known for like 2 weeks is flipped upside down
right.
and
And
completely different.
no, I like, and I
Like you're
completely
going to
agree
feel
with
like
you.
everybody's a liar,
Yeah.
and
Well,
you wouldn't be wrong.
But also, Reed has this sense of like, you do what you have to do to get to your goal, and also has like a healthy respect for everybody who's a human being and like a humanoid that has feelings and emotions. Like he just respects people because they're people. Like there's a line of respect that's always there. So with you hiding everything, like with what's about to come out. I feel like Reed is gonna. He's definitely gonna be like, not exactly upset, but like feel different than he used to about the group. But like, you did what you had to do, rather than like you tried to hide it from us for reasons that are evil.
right.
Now, with that said, because he has just come into contact with another red wizard, and you guys do use magic, and he's kind of shifting back to that focus of magic's evil, especially after the conversation that him and the red wizard had. That is gonna hurt, like the relationships between me and the magic users of the group.
Oh yeah, I can definitely see how that would be the case because, and not just because of the magic, but I feel like just having that brought back up, that traumatic event from Reed's past, is going to make him a little, more than a little, on edge.
Oh,
Yeah.
PTSD.
And that's also why he reacted the way he did when he realized that you guys had Frozen Woe the whole time.
Yeah.
Now, in the end, he did end up trusting you guys enough to go along with it, but like, there's still that hesitation of why did they have it?
Well, there is kind of a continuing theme with the unstable unicorns of, are they the good guys?
Right.
You know,
Well,
they try to be, but
And I think that's, but it's not just the unstable unicorns; it's all of our backstories, because we all individually struggle with being the good guy. You know, for those who don't know, Crystal's been in 36 wars.
Yeah.
He's
Right.
killed hundreds, if not thousands, of people.
Yeah.
You know, and he struggles with it on the daily. You
Yeah.
know, have I done enough to actually be considered good now? You know,
Yeah.
and now he's only after the truth, no matter the cost. So how's that going to conflict within itself? You know, Tyriana has admitted that she got into this thing to stop Frozen Woe, but does she have a problem with the power? Nope.
Right.
So how is this all going to manifest in itself individually? And then how is that manifestation going to look in the group as a whole?
Right. And like you were saying, like each one of us has like a "are we the good guy" moment, and like for Kier, it's the fact that she's been lying to the group the whole time. Like no matter the reason, like she has been a liar for how long they've been together, and
To be
That's
fair, we
gonna-
should have saw that coming. I mean, she did introduce herself as a tiefling, so
that's true. The very first
Yeah.
session,
Yeah.
Very first
she was
session.
disguised as a tiefling,
yep.
giving tattoos.
Yep.
Should have
And
seen it coming.
drunk herself to the point
Yes.
where she had to be carried up the stairs.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
true.
So yeah, but that's Kier's thing too, is Kier is also, her backstory is she's struggling to be better.
Right.
She was a pirate. She was
It's-
a ruthless pirate with a reputation that precedes her.
Oh, see,
Right.
now I'm learning things.
And she's trying very hard.
I want to do a recap with everybody so I learn more things. This is great.
Yeah, but it's going to be interesting.
Freaking pirate.
But like
hear that?
all of our all of our backstories, like there's a chance that we could have become evil. Like no matter whose backstory you take, like all of us could have gone the other way.
Yep.
And it happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With Ashton.
Yeah.
Like he went down the wrong path.
Yeah. Well, another thing that fascinates me, and that I think about daily, because the viewers, if you guys didn't know, my brother Steve, he's actually evil. Like his core, he is solid evil. But Crystal's 422 years old and was a warrior for the majority of that. How do we know that I didn't kill some of these guys' family?
Yeah.
Like how do we know that I didn't assist the Red Wizards and burn down a village? Like how do we know these things?
Right.
Yep. How
You
do
know?
we know that you're not my dad?
How do we
Oh
know?
no.
Like
There's a lot.
there's, I mean, the interesting thing is, it's either Steve's evil genius or just the genius, but there's nowhere this couldn't go at this point.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we are definitely like.
It's also, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, no, you're fine.
But it's really interesting to me too how all of us as individuals, I've only knew Kenny by name. I only knew Brian by name.
Yeah.
The rest of us are family, and yet all of our backstories involve conflict and conquer.
Right.
All
And
of
we
them.
didn't discuss this
Oh, no.
beforehand. Like
No,
And-
we didn't
No.
know anyone's backstory going into
In
it.
fact, I was like annoyingly secretive about mine.
Yeah.
Like I can go ahead and tell you, I made my wife very mad because I would not give her any details about anything. She didn't even know my name.
Yeah.
I've been sitting on the secret for a year and a half, so I'm with you.
Yeah. Like
Oh man. Oh, Ash came home after y'all's one shot and said, "I know something you don't know, and I am not going to tell you."
And then she called me right after their one shot, like on the way home, and was like, "Do you know about this?"
Yeah, because I told you at Christmas.
Oh
so
man, God, I've been holding that.
Yeah,
in for
I've been left in the dark in
long.
my own house.
So long.
My son betrayed me.
it's great. That's what part of what makes the game so much fun.
It really is.
So-
Yeah.
Like,
I was just glad that I could get her back.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Having something that she didn't know was coming.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
That's good.
I did not know that I was about to learn that I had a brother, apparently.
Brother.
Yeah, in Taldore.
Yeah, I had see because I was thinking I had I knew I had connections to Wildmount,
Right.
but
Not.
was not expecting the Taldore tie-in. Like,
Right.
ooh.
And Taldore is a huge place.
Yes.
And Bloodstone is a very popular place in
Well,
Taldore.
Another really interesting thing that could, most likely come into play at some point is I don't even know where Crystal's from.
Oh
Right.
wow,
He was just raised on a farm somewhere.
yeah. There's so much.
Yeah, I mean, it could be anything. Also, this little Patreon exclusive thing that I know that you don't know about Mavieth.
I can't wait. I'm so excited that there's still secrets to be shared.
I know.
Oh, and they're going to keep coming, man. Like this crossroads with all our backstories like colliding in Waterdeep. They're like each one's bigger than the next. It's just.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like there is like an absolute war coming, and like Avengers Assemble. You know what I mean?
Oh
Like,
yeah.
And it's so crazy to think about that we've been in Waterdeep for like maybe 3 or 4 days. No,
No.
we've been in there for like a week.
Yeah, it's been a week or two, I think, because we've had some downtime
Right.
that we've just kind of
Yeah.
skipped
Yeah.
over a little
Yeah.
bit.
Like me building my gun,
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it
which
happens.
is awesome, by the way.
But all right, so let's move on to our DM's top 5
Top
segment.
5. Let's
yeah.
go.
So, in no particular order, as usual. Number 1 is Crystal's return to the unstable unicorns.
Oh man.
Crystal's return. Yeah, I mean, it was wild leaving. And to be fair, I didn't intend to leave the way I did. It was just kind of a spur of the moment decision that I had to make. But there was a purpose to it. Like I said earlier, Crystal blamed himself entirely. Not like part his fault, not maybe his fault. In his mind, it was 1,000% his fault that Ashton went bad and left and went to the Shadowfell. It's entirely Crystal's fault. So he felt like his path to redemption, which he already took the oath of redemption. His path to redemption was going back where it all started and going back to the Cobalt and rededicating himself. And through excruciating, in its truest form of training, yeah, screw you, Steve. Okay, let's talk about training for a second. I got beat upside the head with a stick, just a bamboo cane, nothing special, just a bamboo cane. I almost died, like literally almost died in a freaking sand pit with a bamboo stick.
Right. But let's talk about the second session where you rolled like what, 4 natural 20s?
No,
in a
it
row?
was 7, 4 in a row, 7 altogether that night.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was such a cool. I think it was really fun for Steve too because it got him a chance to stretch his legs because we haven't done anything like that. Like
No.
in a year and a half, there's never been anything like that.
Yeah.
And but Crystal and Tate both learned a whole lot over those 3 sessions. And it was really interesting because I set out to change Crystal, but I think I changed like the way I play the game now too.
Yeah.
Over those 3 sessions. But oh man, sitting at home in a recliner while you guys were in here having fun.
Hard.
I mean, well, not just that, but like I had dedicated myself to not watching any of it.
Yeah.
Like I did not
That's
watch
hard to
a
do.
second of it.
It's really hard to
And
do.
meanwhile, I'm getting Mikey texting me going, dude, did you see that? No, I did not see that. Shut up.
We love you, Michael.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching.
But I'm so glad to be back. Crystal is excited to be back and he's excited to be helpful. But I think he's also a little apprehensive, trying to. He's looking at everybody differently now.
Yeah.
And every one of us as players were so happy to have him back. Just like
Oh, yes.
it felt like fulfilling the table again. I know that Kenny wasn't there the last
Yeah.
session, but like having the guy who's been gone for 3 sessions come back was like it was almost like a weight lifted.
Oh yeah. Well, and personally and in character, like, because we have been hurting for someone who is capable of
Of like restraint.
yes,
Yeah.
like
Right.
having a normal conversation with somebody, because Reed can, but Reed's going through some stuff right now.
And honestly, he's not entirely happy about Crystal coming back the way that he did.
Well, neither
'cause-
is Kier.
Oh,
Kier's not
yeah.
happy that Crystal left the way he did.
But Reed is like really upset that Crystal left when the unstable unicorns needed him. And
But they didn't need him when he left.
right. And
Yeah.
again, that it's not like there's no way it could have been Crystal's fault.
No,
but
it's Reed's fault because Reed's
just-
an idiot. Everybody knows that.
Reed just saw that the group's like leader almost just vanished on them, and they went to this gala and did stuff on their own without this person. And it for Reed it feels like Crystal abandoned them
Yeah.
like when they needed him. And again, no way that Crystal could have known that.
You
but
know what?
it's
I
just
just
the
had an
way
idea.
Reed sees it.
I just had an idea, and I think this is really important to the success of our game. I think Reed should really approach Crystal with this.
I
I think it's a
and
swell
I do believe
plan.
that he's going to.
Oh.
But
I think
right
it's a great
now,
idea.
I think
there are much more pressing matters.
yes, but I do think that next episode there's gonna be a big family like
Yeah. It's-
having it out. Just I feel like
yeah.
a lot of stuff is gonna just come out.
I'm
next
excited
session.
for the
Oh,
next
yeah.
session in particular. I mean, I'm always excited for the session, but next session, I think everybody, but specifically me and Kier, are gonna have like intense role playing moments. I think.
Yes, I agree, because Kira and Crystal have a lot on both sides to
Yeah.
work through, and so does Reed. And Mavieth is definitely going to have some feelings, and
Yeah.
Can't wait for that.
it's going to be
He's gonna
like-
have feelings.
and Billerdam too. Billerdam
Yeah.
does not like secrets,
Yeah.
so it's going to be interesting.
It's gonna be a good episode.
Yeah,
Also, we definitely told Mavian to not watch the episode so
Yes.
that we could see his reaction live.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Let's
he's
see if he
gonna.
listens
We're
like a
just
good
gonna
boy.
dump him right in the middle of all of that next session.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
Right.
great.
You're like,
Alright.
what? What?
Moving on to number 2, Reed's flirting with the Marquesian delegate.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, Gavin.
Lord.
Let's talk about that in detail, Gavin.
It wasn't supposed to be flirting. It was supposed to be me checking on this Marquesian lady that I had talked to at the party.
You were
Because
checking on this
it was-
Martesian lady that you met at the party with a door crack that she left open when she saw you.
I knocked, and also if you go and watch the episode, nothing happened.
No.
Like, she gave me a hug because she was mourning.
You want to know what I think is the truth of this
I
whole
do.
scenario? The truth is that your Uncle Steven just really loves to mess with you.
Yeah.
And he likes to make the characters try to flirt with you to
Oh, yeah,
see how
I'm
you're
sure.
going to handle
So
it.
if you want
I'm
to
sure.
screw Uncle Steve, next time this happens, like actually jump in the bed.
I would never do that. And neither would Reed. No, but it was supposed to be like a harmless interaction that, like, it was Reed checking up on someone. And that's what he does. Like, he looks out for people. And he was like a folk hero to his village. So, like, everyone knew him. And he's trying to kind of get back to his roots a little bit with that. And just kind of make sure that everyone's okay. He hasn't seen a whole lot of other people that, like, he knew personally that has been attacked. And next session, he may go and check on the people that have been, like, hurt. But the Marquesian lady was the first one that he actually talked to. And seeing that the guy that, like, was with her in her entourage, like, dead, like, he knows what losing someone is like. So he
And
went.
she was really pretty.
And now she's very disappointed.
Yep.
Probably. Also, apparently she had a knife on her hip
Yeah,
that Reed doesn't know about.
I honestly was very concerned the whole time that scene was happening because I was convinced she was going to end up being a bad guy and she was going to like
Oh.
stab him or something.
I'm sure that I'm going to get stabbed at some point, but, you know,
Yes, he will.
it happens.
All right, so number 3, Tyriana coming clean about her involvement with the Zenthram.
Ooh, that one
That may
was-
have been Crystal's plan. It's possible that Tyriana came to Crystal worried about this, and he convinced her to come clean. But keep in mind, she wasn't really coming clean. She just thought she was because the Cobalt already knew.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Again, watch the one-shots, guys.
her coming out to Reed was a big deal because
Yes.
Reed hasn't been led on into a lot of stuff because he's very new
Poor
and because
Reed.
of their interaction with Ashton.
Poor Reed.
It's also definitely got to be the fact that it's me that's playing this character, considering that I was playing Ashton. But nevertheless, Reed was not let in on a lot of things, and that coming to light and the way Reed reacted, I'm hoping is what kind of wins him over with the unstable unicorns. Now, Reed is not fully okay with what happened with the unicorns keeping the frozen woe. But he understands the situation and realizes that he couldn't come up with a better plan. And in fact, Tyriana asked him for a better plan, and he admitted that he couldn't think of one, which is why he was like okay with that.
That's kind of where the unicorns find themselves very often is we do what we do because there's not a better way to do it.
Yeah.
Right.
That's very true.
Like we're always like trying to do the right thing, not always being the best people. So
Yeah.
we just do the best we can.
We are very accidental in our
Yeah.
superheroing.
I was
Yeah.
going to say, yeah, like we just stumble upon
It's
these people who
serendipity.
need help and then just go and help them in our own chaotic
In
way.
fact, most of the time, our initial reaction is, "Oh shit!"
Yeah.
Like there's
Yeah.
no one else that can do this.
We do the right thing and then sometimes destroy Nomengard in the process.
Yeah.
We don't talk
We
about
don't talk about.
Nomengard.
We don't talk about Bruno either.
Okay, guys. No.
Anyway,
But no, there are a lot of situations where we get ourselves into, and it's not always the best, but we do manage to make it out relatively unscathed.
I would also like to point out that there's a lot of situations that we've got ourselves into solely because maybe it enjoys blowing things up.
it's valid.
Like,
we would the pissing pelican.
Yes.
Which, for
Looking
the
at you,
record, guys, Crystal doesn't know about that. He was walking out of town and saw a mushroom cloud behind him.
Oh, you
That's
do
also
know
fun.
that he blew it up though, because Kier did send a message
Yeah.
and said, also maybe it blew up a building.
Yes.
So you aware that he blew something
I
up.
could probably, decode.
Put two and two
yeah,
together.
mushroom cloud, maybe. Oh, God.
Yeah.
One of those situations.
Also, again, was not supposed to end like that. Just
You told him to.
go watch that episode. I never told him to use a bomb, and I never told him to use it on that building.
Yeah, if you do watch that session, keep track of the time because the pissing pelican, that was 2 hours, guys. That was 2 hours.
It was 2 hours of hilarity.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah, it was
And
2 hours of
Reed-
blowing stuff up, getting punched, running from guards. Like
We had a small action movie in
Yes.
the middle of our D&D session. It was
Slightly.
great.
But also, Reed tried to catch that thing. I just roll like crap.
it's not the first time he's tried to catch something and failed miserably. Like
We
the
don't
snake
talk
temple.
about that smoke grenade. We don't talk about it,
There's a lot of things we don't talk about.
Yeah.
especially snakes.
we won't bring up the reptiles. But Brian did make a very funny little joke about
did.
being stuck between a rock and an alligator.
Alligator.
Yeah. I think he used crocodile.
Yeah,
But
either way, it was
it was
great.
pretty great. The best part was that Gavin was not amused. It makes all the jokes better.
Go watch it. I said that I'd get him back for it.
Yep.
Trust me, I got a plan.
I don't think he does.
All right. So number 4 is Reed's threat to the Red Wizard.
Ooh, man. That was
Uh-oh.
intense.
That's the thing that's going to come and bite me in the butt.
You think?
But
but it was so cool.
It was, and that's another one of those times that my adrenaline's really pumping, and you can actually hear it at the end of the sentence. My voice kind of quivers because when I'm telling you guys I feel adrenaline, like it is pumping. But no, it was. He genuinely wanted that conversation to go good, and just let him know that he was here, and that the Red Wizard needed to watch his back. And it turned into something more when Reed was saying that the Red Wizard may not know him, but that they were not on good terms, and he decided that he was going to ask which village.
Yep, that was the turning point.
Yep.
As in which village he had burned down that my family was in.
Yeah. Again, Steve's evil. So
that was evil. Yeah. That was terrible.
It's full circle, guys. We're right back to that.
But no, like at that point, if you can just imagine, like the typical like old Western, like getting mad, like the hat goes down and you can't see their eyes anymore, like that's Reed, and it's very noticeable that whenever he's angry, because he starts clenching his metallic arm, and almost starts to shake. And if you look into his eyes, that like his eyes are purple, but like they turn like the feeling you get off of it almost makes it seem like his eyes turn like a tint of red when stuff like that happens. But yeah, no, that question sent him over the edge.
It sent me to the edge. Like I'm sitting in my chair going, "Oh God, oh God."
Yeah, I would really love to go back. I haven't had a chance to go back and watch Session yet, but I am very much looking forward to watching that part because I want to see all of our reactions to that moment, because I know we were all like holding our breath like, oh crap, what's about to happen?
Yeah, I want to screen grab from that for sure.
That could have gone either way. But the fact that Billerdam was right behind him and had a hand on his shoulder, I think gave him just enough restraint to not blow.
Was he in
head
bear
off.
form when that happened? I don't remember.
Happily.
Did he jump?
Yeah. Yeah, he definitely jumped. Just so everybody knows. And it was almost kind of like hanging there on his shoulder.
Yeah.
But, yeah, the Billerdam gave him just enough restraint to not blow his head off right there.
The idea that Billerdam in Billerdam form gave anybody restraint is my favorite part of anything ever. Like, that's great.
Well, I mean, he's gotten the closest with Billerdam, funny enough.
Yeah.
And it's just the fact that he's just a fun, goofy-looking guy. And
he's a big teddy bear.
Reed just needs that in his life with all the vengeance and hatred he has. Because, like, it's not like that stuff just goes away when he doesn't see him.
Right.
Like, it's constantly there. It's just underneath.
I loved the whole conversation and interaction of Reed saying, hey, you guys are going to have to hold me back. And then everyone's suggestions for how that was going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Put a tranq dart in him. Knock him out with my giant bear fist.
You can see...
You can talk to me.
The immediate regret on Gavin's face of like, why did I ask these
To
dumbasses
be fair,
to do
Crystal
this?
just put his hand on his shoulder. That's all I did.
Yeah.
That's why we need Crystal, because someone has to
That's
be the
right.
reasonable person in
You
this
should
group.
be lucky that Tiriana didn't pull out daggers or something. Like,
Yeah, I know.
like she doesn't think small.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. That interaction was crazy for Reed, but also crazy for me because, again, I thought that this conversation was going to be productive.
There's
And
no such thing as a productive conversation with the unstable unicorns.
It was productive in a way. It just ended with, I'll put a bullet in your skull.
You're going to have to be very specific with your requests from
Yeah.
now on.
Yeah.
Like,
That's right.
I need you to put a hand on my arm
Yes.
and physically pull me back, please.
Yeah.
And
Right.
thank you.
That scene reminded me so much of when like everybody was trying to get the dagger from Ashton.
Yes.
Like, I got it. No, I got it. No, I got it. No,
Yeah.
I got it. And then he just split. I was like, well, Gavin rolling for third character.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Here we go.
that could have gone either way. I could
Yeah.
have taken my pistol off my hip and put a bullet in his head.
Yeah.
That's really what I thought was about to
it's-
happen.
I was
It's-
very concerned.
Yeah.
The only reason in my mind that Reed.
Come again?
I almost said Ashton.
Yeah.
Is it blah, blah?
But the only reason that Reed didn't do what everybody thought he was gonna is because you guys were counting on him, and because he respects Lady Silverhand enough to not shed blood for now in her castle.
Yeah, she did make a very like pointed request
Yeah.
for us to not do anything else like
Yeah.
that.
And
so.
on stream, Steve had said something about Lady Silverhand knowing certain hatred and certain secrets about certain people. And clearly that was about the unstable unicorns. Like,
Yeah.
it couldn't be anybody else.
Yeah.
But, nevertheless, we managed to get through that scenario without me pulling my pistol. So,
Close.
Yeah. Oof.
it was close.
There's still
but-
a lot of time left.
There's plenty of time left.
Oh, I would just like to say that the Red Wizard is going to die before I leave that castle.
Oh, before we leave the castle? Yeesh. Whew.
Yeah.
I don't know that I'm ready for this. Okay, we're going to move on to the next one. That gives me a little bit of anxiety.
Yeah.
Number 5 is Kier's big reveal.
Oh, man. That was crazy.
I have been sitting on that for so long, and I was not planning on having that come out last
Yes.
night.
Yeah.
Steve is evil.
But yeah, it was
It was like, I rarely show emotions in this stuff, but my jaw absolutely hit the floor. Like, I
left.
couldn't.
No, the best part was you went away, like you started to back up and go away again, and then I said something about being the Queen of Crows, and you
Oh,
like scooted back up and were like, I'm sorry, well, like you could see it
Yeah.
on your face. You were like, wait, what?
And then I totally just drove away.
Yeah.
Like, I just took my wheelchair
he
and
completely
left.
left that
Yep.
episode. Like, he was, not
Gone.
on camera
Yep.
anymore.
I
Like,
could,
gone.
when you say Queen of Crows, I was like, nah.
Yeah.
I'm out.
I'm out. I can't.
He left.
What in the hell just happened?
It was crazy.
It was
Like, I
like,
couldn't believe it.
there's like all these people going, I know and you don't know. Boo, 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 boo. Like, there was so many things running through my head. That wasn't
It was not it, yeah.
That was not it.
Yep.
And
Like, oh my God.
one of the craziest things for me is that when I got let in on this information, like, she went into detail explaining like all the little hints that she's left. Like, one of them is like feeding the crows,
Yep.
with the magical beans.
Yep.
But like it's crazy. And if you think about her last name, it's a ship,
Yep.
and she's a pirate.
Yeah.
So like it couldn't have been more obvious to anyone who was looking for it. But
Yeah.
nobody
Yeah,
was looking for it.
Well, no one knew
Yeah.
what to look for.
Well,
It-
just
It wasn't.
it was horrible. I had anxiety attack. I had a panic attack. I threw up in my mouth twice. I still don't know what's going to happen. I feel like I lost my best friend and my daughter, and I don't know if my legs are touching the ground anymore.
It's going. It is. It's going to be interesting. It's a big. It's a conversation, and that's the thing is like we know, like you all as players know, but the characters have not actually found out yet. So
No
next session, we're gonna have to go through that whole thing again, which is it's probably good that it happened that way because it gives everyone a chance to like process themselves before
Jeez.
their characters have to respond. Because
Right.
poor Ashley in our one shot when she found out was
She
like,
had like a nervous breakdown or something.
wait, what? Like it took her a little bit to fully wrap
Yeah.
her head around.
great.
She was like, Tyrionna's freaking out, but like Ashley right now is like, whoa. So
It was great.
it was great.
No, the way Steve wrote it in and the way it came out is absolutely perfect in my opinion. And just knowing that, like, as a player, knowing this information, I've known it for quite a while,
Yeah.
and I just had to hold it in. But like when it came out last night, there were even some parts that surprised me.
Well, there were
And-
some parts that surprised me.
like having a brother, like
Yeah.
that's pretty surprising.
Yeah.
But No, it's crazy because like even knowing the information, the shock from learning it is ridiculous.
Well, and there were still some things like that you didn't know every single detail of it,
Right.
and just the anticipation of like knowing it and thinking, oh, is this the moment? Like, are we actually gonna like learn about this now? Is
Yeah,
intense.
on stream, I definitely didn't mean to, but like whenever the Whitestone person was introduced and Kier and him had a one-on-one, I just kept looking back and forth between Lauren and Steve, just like, is this it? Is is it happening?
Yeah. I see. And it was so hard for me. I had one of those weird moments where like you're in character, but then something happens and you're like, wait, whoa, I need. So I had to kind of just take a minute to be like,
Lauren
okay,
needs
Lauren's
a
having to
second.
freak out, but Kier needs to like keep it together over here.
Yeah.
And Kier was having her own. She was feeling a little more skeptical of it than shocked. you
Yeah.
know? Whereas Lauren was like, wait, what? I was kind of upset because I was like, if this is about to be my dad, I'm going to be mad. Because
it's not Crystal.
Yeah. Like, Crystal is her dad at this point. She doesn't want any other dad. It is Crystal.
Crystal referred to her as his surrogate daughter last night.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
First time.
True.
Yep. And so
Of course, he doesn't know this yet.
But I also like that she still that shows everyone that while she may be upset with Crystal at this point, she still told Lord Silverhand like, "Oh, I'm pretty sure he's my dad." Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
she's mad at him, and I don't even know that she's really mad at him so much as it just scared her.
Yeah.
I think it because of Ashton leaving, and she just has this hang up about people leaving. And even though he said he was coming back,
I know. And Kier is the reason he didn't leave before. He almost left twice before.
yeah,
And that amulet around Kier's neck, he gave to her specifically because that's going to keep her safe. Like nothing was going to happen to you
Yeah.
while you were wearing that amulet. And I don't know, man. It's a wild ride from here on out because, like I said, everything's we just found ourselves in the middle of a collision course.
oh yeah,
And before we can really even find our footing again as a group, we've got to fight what's in front of us.
yeah.
You know?
We
Right,
don't
'cause-
have time to
Yeah,
process
we can't
all of
sit
this.
down and have a heart to heart right now. You know what I'm
Because
saying?
we're having to deal with this mass weapon of like genocide. Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I
it's-
mean,
Yeah.
as
It's
we're
ridiculous.
speaking, Photo, a good friend of mine, is at the Cobalt Soul dying.
yeah.
That
He-
very
he's,
much upsets me, by the way.
affected
Oh,
by the frozen
It
wall.
was horrible when Steve did it.
It makes me
Watch
so
the one
sad.
shot.
And as a player, like, I don't think it fully hit me, like, how many people had died in the ballroom until the day of his one shot. And just, like, knowing that, because on stream we had said, like, what, close to 150 people were at least affected,
Yeah,
and 6 were, like, frozen solid.
yeah,
Yeah.
156 people by a group of 10, 12.
yeah, yeah.
Like, this stuff is not...
It was not very many.
this stuff is not okay.
Yeah, well, and see, that's the thing is the Unstable Unicorns knew that this was bad. Like they had heard that the vial was very dangerous, but this is the first time we've seen it in action.
Yeah.
Right.
And
The
so
other-
it hits different.
The other really interesting thing that we're going to have to role play through at some point is the fact that we've not been very proactive at trying to find it and kill it. We've not. Like,
Yeah.
we've been off buying pretty things and going and getting drunk and hanging out with, Tusk Tooth and all this other stuff. We have not been proactive about hunting this stuff down. And at some point, we're going to have to deal with the realization that this probably could have been avoided had we hunted it down earlier.
Maybe. It is something that we're going to have to come to terms with. I I don't know that we can say with certainty whether or not it would have affected anything.
Yeah.
But it's definitely something that we'll have to consider.
Yeah, but certainty has nothing to do about the way you feel.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I know that I know for Crystal, he's gonna save photo at whatever the cost.
Yeah.
Right. And Reed was not there in Leylon, but there are a lot of possibilities that could have happened in Leylon to stop this distribution, because it was being transferred in Leylon while we were there. And we just had so much going on with Ashton that
Yeah.
nothing got done.
Yep.
And then as soon as Ashton left, like, you guys couldn't be in that place anymore.
Yeah, it was too. Yeah, it was a lot. And that's the problem, is that there's been so much, even now, still, there's so much personally that we're going to have, like, as characters, that we're going to have to put aside to focus on this main problem. And it's been that way the whole time.
Yep.
It's just never been bad enough to force us to put those other things aside
Right.
until now.
I was
But you're
about to say-
right. We're going to have to acknowledge that had we put those things aside, could it have been different?
Yeah, and also, like, we're at war with an entirely different realm.
Yeah.
Like,
Or multiple realms.
yeah,
Yeah.
especially with the introduction of Aor and the guy who created Frozen Will, like, as well as the Shadowfell Syndicate. Like,
Yeah.
But I
they're
still
just
know things that y'all don't know.
Yeah. This session, I feel like, definitely has completely changed the trajectory of where this campaign's going.
I think another really cool thing that nobody's talking about is, I think more than any other session ever, I think that this, even though we're all together, I think this particular session, like, really magnified each person's strong suit and what they are capable of and what their area of expertise is.
Yep. I'm
Like,
excited.
Reed's really good at getting mad.
oh, well, okay, fair enough.
Well, but he's also very compassionate.
Yeah.
And we see that in how he interacts with the Marquesian delegate.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the fact that he's able, this is his ultimate, like, purpose, that he has been after this red wizard for so long, but he is still
Able to restrain
somehow
himself.
capable,
Yes.
like, to restrain himself and focus on what needs to be done. So that's his strength, is
Yeah.
that he does what needs doing, like you
And-
said before.
Yeah, and that's kind of how he looks at everybody. As long as they're, like, doing what they need to do rather than, like, doing what they want to do, like, that's a respectable person.
Yeah.
And again, every person has, like, a fine line of respect that Reed gives them, but when you're goofing off while the world is currently in shambles and there's a war going on and you know about it, you have no respect left from him.
Yeah.
Like, you were the bottom of the barrel kind of scum.
Well, it's definitely going to be interesting next session, seeing how it
Indeed.
goes. We are coming up on time, so we'll kind of try to draw it to a close. But real quick, before we sign off, just to give everyone a little teaser of what's to come, is there anything you want to tell our audience about commitment issues?
Yeah. Okay, so Commitment Issues is upcoming content that me and Gavin have been working on together. It's going to be a series of one-shots that we're doing. A completely new set of rules, guys. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to throw people off. Steve's going to play.
Steve is going to play, and we're going to have guest stars.
We're
right?
going every episode we're going to have a special guest player.
excited.
Me and Gavin
That'll
will
be
be
a lot of
DMing. It's going to be crazy, guys. We've got all the stories written, and it's going to be fun. You guys should definitely watch. It's going to be great.
It will be coming soon. We don't have a set release schedule for that, thus commitment issues.
Right.
Because we've got a lot of those.
So it will not be a necessarily regularly scheduled thing. It's just going to kind of be a extra exciting little
Yep. Little
Yeah.
surprise.
surprise when it shows up.
Yep.
So I'm definitely looking forward to it. You guys should be too.
Yep. As soon as
Gonna
we
be
have
awesome.
a record date, we'll let you guys know.
Yep.
It's going to be awesome. Just
All
saying.
right. Well, on that note, we will end it for today, but we appreciate you all tuning in to hang out with us for a bit. And as always, take care of yourselves, take care of the masses. See you next time.